how are you doing out there? Welcome back to the Terri and Rio Show. We have some fabulous guests today, some fabulous guests. This is going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about college players being paid
How
or
do you
getting
feel
a
about that?
stipend. How do you feel about that? So we have some different views that we'll talk about today and our opinions.
Right, right. So I want to introduce my panel. Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
you.
We're going to take this time for you to tell us a little bit about you. Let the audience know who you are. Who is Thomas?
I am a operations manager for Beacon Roofing. I just landed an assistant coaching job for Houston Spirits for the OBA.
Okay.
I also do coaching for Miami Ballers, Trick Daddy and Trina. It's the GMGB league.
So when you say ballers, for some of the folks that don't understand, ballers, because we're talking about different leagues and things when you talk about ballers and street ballers and things like that. Because when I first read it, I was like, a street baller. Now, somebody's going to have to break this down for me. As I want to know, what's the difference? Why do they call themselves street ballers?
Adrian, you can take that one.
We call ourselves street ballers because a lot of the games are being played mostly outside.
Okay.
We hitting like all the historical parks in the world. The Berry Farms that's in Washington, D.C. I just recently played at Rucker Park for the first time in New York, which is a court every street baller have to go to and play to earn your name and get your stripes. So it was pretty cool.
How many stripes you got?
I got a lot of stripes.
Okay, let me just say this too, because we didn't introduce Mr. Mack. I don't think nobody needs to introduce him, but he wanted to make sure that I spelled his name right.
Yeah, that's
Konfuzion.
right. Humbly
He wanted to make sure that I spelled it right. So I'm happy. Thank you again for you guys coming to our panel. A lot of times, women, we don't know a lot. I know a little.
You know a little?
I know a little lot.
Still got that one-on-one thing.
Yeah, but we got to see, we doing this
Jesse
one-on-one
Bob.
thing. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We're doing this one-on-one thing. But I always wanted to know, because I didn't understand street baller. Why did you call yourself street ballers? But when I got a chance to read about you, I was impressed.
Appreciate it.
And I don't impress easily. I'm just letting you know that.
I appreciate that.
All right, okay? I'm not impressed easily now.
Appreciate it.
But I was impressed because I've seen a lot of things that you had done. But let's talk about you and the kids. What do you give back, and what are you a mentor?
Yes,
You call yourself a mentor?
Most definitely. Gotta give back. God gave me a gift, so it's a must that I give it back. I have to give everything that I learned back to these kids, the youth. Obviously, they need me, and I feel as though my spirit is high. I have a lot of knowledge about the game of basketball and what I can give, and not just about basketball, just about life itself,
Right.
and the things that you're going to go through in life. When y'all were talking earlier about bumping your head, a lot of kids, they don't understand, the consequences that come along with, the things that comes with basketball and trying to be that next person. And I think it's a lot going on today in this world as far as bullying, that a lot of kids, they don't understand. Just things in the household too as well, that's not really talked about too as well. So a lot of these things I mentor to these kids about that, hey, just because your father wasn't around,
Right.
or your mother left you, or somebody, abandoned you, or this and that and the third, you still can go out there and be somebody. My daddy, he left me when I was 1 year old. A lot of people don't know that, but, it didn't deter me from my dreams, and the things that I wanted to do. I took that negative and turned it to a positive.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely.
I just want to give that back. And I give it every day. I still go to the neighborhoods that I grew up in and play basketball with those kids because I was once that kid. So I want them to feel as though they can touch me, they can
Right.
see me. Just because I'm in a game with Drake or Snoop Dogg or DJ Khaled, hey, I still can be touched.
Right.
I'm still a person. I'm still human. I still go through things just as much as you do. So that's.
Because sometimes they think if they touch you, they touch Drake. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, because you was on the roll with it. But I'm just saying, but you know what I like about it, though? Let's go back for 1 second. I want to get back to you, Thomas. I didn't try to get over you, but he tried to be more important. So let me give him.
This is my brother.
I'm gonna remind you. He called. He said, "Hey, I got somebody else I want to come." So he thought about you though. But let me ask you something. You said your dad left when you were 1. Not to be all up in your business, but in your business. You said he left when he was 1. Is he still alive today?
No, he's not.
Okay, but before he died, did he get a chance to see how great you turned out to be?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
Nah, he didn't get to see this me. He died. I was in college, my second year in college, so you know I was really just trying to just find myself and you know trying to figure out what I'm going to do actually with my life. And I mean, he didn't get to see me on this level, but I mean, he sees me. He sees
Most
me.
do you forgive him?
Of course.
All right,
yeah,
cool deal.
I forgive him.
Cool deal.
I forgive everybody.
Cool deal, cool deal. Don't knock on my stuff, but cool deal. I don't know my stuff. No, but that's cool though. And I think that kids, do you ever talk about that? Because I think kids need to see that. They need to see that just because somebody made a decision not to choose, it didn't have anything to do with you, you know. But I think that they need to see that. They need to hear that. That listen, I'm who I am because I made choices, but because somebody did something right. You know, somebody in your life did something right that you turned out to be so great.
Definitely.
Okay, I ain't gonna say that again, so you make sure you rewind it because I'm gonna say you great again. Okay, but I think you're wonderful, and by all means, I love to see black men give back because I think that every positive black man out there, that's your job. That's your duty. That you give back to the kids that didn't get a chance to see that. So that
There's just so much going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to give back.
I think that's very important. That we leave our community better than we found it.
Right.
You know, and I think what these guys here are doing is exactly that. You know, it's like me coaching high school football. It's like him going back to his community. The kids see that. He's an example. I can be that guy. And when you read his story, I thought it was impressive that you went to college and your first day of football practice, you was like, this is not me.
Yeah, I did. I read
most
that
people, most people do that and they think life is over. But he took that and used it as my favorite word. What he used it as? The ladder.
The ladder.
He climbed, and you know.
That's an interesting story, man.
Why did you? I wanted to ask you the question though. Was football your game?
I was good, really good, coming out of high school.
And you know what? When I read about that, I was like,
I was good.
I was impressed because, you know, he had folks in his neighborhood as he was growing up said if you saw Adrian, he had a basketball. He said he was bouncing. He got up early in the morning and dribbled and, you know, behind his back and did all the and one stuff. And guys were like, that guy right there one day will be in the NBA.
Got it.
And I mean, that's what, you know, the neighborhood saw. And believe it or not, I think those things help inspire him and motivate him as well, because it's like what? He kept hearing, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be great.
Yeah.
And it was like a soft little, I'm gonna be great. But then he got to the point where he goes, well, okay, they block my shots when I play the neighborhood basketball. I can out dribble them, but they're a little taller than me. So I'm gonna go do football. And then he excels at football, gets a scholarship, and walks on the field the first day and go, this ain't my true love.
It's not for me. It's an interesting story. God talks to me just as much as he talked to anybody else. So, you know, I played high school football at Lamarck High School. We won a lot of state championships, and we footballed all day. We practiced morning, noon, and night. So when I got to college, I wanted to enjoy college and get the experience of college to, you know, to learn different things. I got out there in the field. I played wide receiver. I was lining up for a play, and God was just like, quit. Be done with it.
Wow.
I want you to just take off all these pads, these shoulder pads, this helmet, these cleats, take it off and leave it right here. He was like, you tired. You burnt out on it. And I was done. So the coaches, man, what you gonna do now? You ain't gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna be nobody. Catch me in the gym in 2 weeks. They like, oh my God, like I didn't know he was that good in basketball. So I took football again in the college and I used it and I just ran with it.
Right. So, okay, we're gonna take a break because I want to come back. I think Thomas heard this story because he all at the edge of the seat. He heard this story. He like, I can't wait to hear some more. But we're gonna hear all about it because I want to know how you came from football being the greatest and now you're the greatest street baller there is. Konfuzion, y'all. We'll be right back.
We're back. Welcome back to the Terri and Rio Show. and our guests.
Yes. So before we left off, when we left off, we were talking to Konfuzion. He was talking about that moment that God spoke to him about football versus basketball. I think it was a great choice. What y'all think? It's a good choice? You think it was right?
Great choice.
I think you're all right. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, it's all right.
I appreciate
But so before we get to you, I want to talk to Thomas too, because the show is talking about should athletes get. Oh, look, he can't even let me get that. Should athletes get paid to go to college? So you're saying?
I'm saying no.
Okay.
I'm saying yes.
I say yes.
And I say yes, but with some criterias.
Okay.
And I'm going to interject this, and then I think we can roll off it. Jim Chaney, who's now the offensive coordinator for the University of Tennessee, was the nose guard at Central Missouri State when I was in college. And he broke down our scholarship, how much we were paid per hour based on the scholarship that we received for the year. And after he did his breakdown, we were paid for the time spent with football activities. We made a penny and a half an hour.
Wow.
It was a penny and a half an hour. But how much did the university, and we went to a small school, how much did the university make on us?
Exactly.
The tickets didn't cost a penny and a half. The tickets were, at that time, $12, $26, $32. Now we're talking about $100 and something a ticket, $400 a ticket. These universities are making millions, and the kids aren't getting anything. And what people like to come back and say is, well, they're getting a free education.
Right.
Am I really? Because you're giving me a general studies degree. You're giving me a degree that to me is equivalent to a high school degree. A general studies degree, what is that? I took a bunch of classes and got 124 hours, and now, I have a degree. But when I walk into somebody's business and go, I got a degree, and they're like, well, it's a general studies degree, Then what?
Right.
They had a 60-minute special where a bunch of players graduated from big name schools. And since it was on 60 Minutes, I'll go ahead and say it. Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma was one of them. And you got guys, players, black and white, who couldn't get jobs. They had janitorial jobs, not saying that's bad, but they went to college expecting to get a job, a career job, and they didn't have that opportunity because the degree wasn't worth anything in the eyes of the people interviewing you.
Right, that's true.
Right.
But then you sit back, and Patrick Ewing for the University of Georgetown, they said he made the university $26 million.
Wow. How much did he get?
None of that.
None of it.
What's the other thing that they can do? They can also do the Madden games. My son went to a university, Indiana. He had his image, but it wasn't his name. Did he make any money from that? No, but he had to sign all type of paperwork saying that he will not
Look
sue
for
him,
compensation,
he will not
yeah.
look for compensation, none of those things. So for me, I think student athletes should get a stipend. I wouldn't call it paid, but I think just a little something to keep them, afloat for the month.
Right.
Whereas they have a little money in their pockets, because you have kids that come from inner cities and nothing, and they go to these big schools, and mom might work at the grocery store and she's just making enough to pay the bills and not enough to send. And then you have other kids at those universities who got the car, the nice clothes, and the kids want it. So I think a stipend would be a better thing.
They said,
because
instead of saying paid.
Instead of paid, because what's going to happen when we say pay, the University of Alabama comes, the University of Alabama Birmingham comes, And you're going to be looking at, okay, if I go to Alabama, they're going to pay me $3,000 a month. If I go to the University of Alabama at Birmingham, I'm only going to get $1,000. I'm going here.
Right.
And
because
what does that kid do? He goes there and he looks over shoulders for 4 years when he could have went to this university and played and possibly advanced to the NFL or got a quality degree because this was a smaller setting and he was able to take those classes. Because when you go to those large universities and you tell them, well, I want to major in criminal justice or whatever, and they're telling you, well, those classes are at this time and it interferes with football practice.
Yes.
Those are the things the universities don't tell you. You know, when they come into your house, they're telling your parents everything
that you want to hear. Absolutely.
And then once you get there,
it is nothing that you just said.
Absolutely. So I think a stipend, whereas if you went to Alabama, you got $900 a month, and if this school could only afford $700 a month, we're still in, I would say, the same ballpark.
Right.
As opposed to pay.
So I want to ask about Zion.
That's my boy.
Right? Let's talk about Zion for a second.
Zion?
Okay? Zion. Let's talk about him for a second. Okay. So everybody know that he was playing for Duke University, right? Nike had, all these people. Here they go. All the money being thrown at him. And he gets in 1 minute of the game and his shoe falls apart. The Nike shoe falls apart. He falls backwards, do the split, and mess up his right knee. What happens? What happened to his endorsements? What happens to all the people that's throwing money at him right now because he's hurt? What happens?
I don't think it's his fault.
You don't think so?
No.
I agree with you, Thomas.
I got to blame it on the factor of the shoes.
I agree with you, Thomas. It's stated that the shoe exploded. It fell apart.
But you got to show me how is it his fault?
Right.
He
So
didn't
you
make
think
the
it was
shoe.
his fault, Adrian?
No, not at all. But you have to look at Zion and his physique. That's a big kid.
Right.
This is not the average kid.
But so is Shaq.
Understandable. So, therefore, all the technology and stuff that Nike have, Reebok, all these different companies that they have, need to formally design a shoe made
just for the player.
For the amount of power that this man possesses in his body is different. It's totally different than anybody's. If Zion walked in here right now, you would lose your mind. That's a big kid, and you wouldn't think he that big. But I blame Nike, and that's why he went to Jordan.
Right. Well, I think so too. I agree with that because, but still, I mean, you have this shoe in 1 minute. So he didn't walk in the shoe. I just want to know, did he walk in the shoe before? Did he test him by the? You know, when you got new shoes, when you was little, you walk around and you look how you.
Nowadays.
Angel, I don't know why you love it, but you go and you get in the mirror, you see what it's gonna look fly with. He didn't do that.
Nah, he just bust the pack open like,
put them on.
So you said he came straight out the dressing room.
No testing, no
nothing.
No,
just
nothing.
straight out. But that was unfortunate though, because I know Nike wanted to kill their selves. I saw the video. It was I cringed for him.
Nike going crazy right now.
Yeah, they are. I saw that. I thought that was pretty.
And I think that was very interesting what Adrian said about the physique and the shoe. That's something that we've never thought about. So I would say
Well,
after
yeah, I
this
didn't
break,
think about that either. Nah.
I would say after this break, we'll come back to that because that was very interesting.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna come back to that because you done gave a whole lot of kids some ideas to bust out their shoes and want some more tomorrow. We'll be right back, guys. We are talking about athletes. Should they get paid? Yes or no? We'll be right back.
Stipend. Welcome back to the Terri Rio Show, and we're gonna continue with our discussion before the break on athletes' size and physique and the makeup of the shoes, because these days athletes are bigger and stronger than when I played 30 years ago.
Right, right. So, okay, let's talk about, has that happened to anyone else, though, where the shoes actually fell apart, or it was once in a lifetime, huh? Wow.
I would have thought about Shaq busting out a shoe, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so, while unfortunate for Nike, but congrats. Anyway, I seen him play. I did some research on him, and I actually saw him play, and the kid is bad. So, so let's talk about that, though. But when something like that happens and somebody invests in him, just say he didn't come back, right? Just say, hey, the injury was so bad that he decided not to come back anymore. What happens to his schooling?
I think as far as continuing education.
Right. Do they still pick up the check?
Oh,
or
yeah, most definitely.
Okay,
they'd have to cover his insurance.
Right.
Right.
And this all goes back to players being able to get paid. With a guy like Zion selling $8,000, $9,000 a ticket.
Wow.
And don't receive any money of that. No, he don't receive any of that. That goes back to him actually getting paid. His value was already high coming into the school already. I'm sure he generated maybe $40 million at Duke, and the little amount he played there. So therefore, it goes back to him getting paid. He blows his knee out. Now he don't have anything because NCAA rules states that players can't get paid.
Nope.
So that money that he's generating, it should go back to somebody's pocket.
Right, right. So,
his.
which is what I want to know is what happens to him as far as the money that they had been receiving.
Because he blows a knee out, he risks his chance of going to the NBA. Now he don't have anything.
Absolutely.
Right.
And for what Adrian was saying, when you think about that, the university makes $40 million, and they may make $40 million that year because it's TV, tickets, different arenas.
Right.
So they make $40 million. He makes nothing. He sells his jersey. He gets kicked out of college. He can't play no more. All of these things.
So if he sells his jersey, that's illegal. He can't. Well, he can't do that.
He can't do that. But what I'm saying back to that, I think if a student athlete generates millions of dollars, there should be something where if anything happens to you and you can't advance to the NBA or anything like that, here's a set amount of dollars that you receive to get you started.
But that doesn't happen.
No.
Okay. So I want to hear from Thomas though, because you said that you don't.
It depends now. Because like what he had said, you may have Duke that pays $1,000, and then you'll have Notre Dame that pays $1,500. So now you're there in
competition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm going to go with the one that pays the most. And I don't think it's fair.
Right. Okay.
Have some type of standards between each school.
And so we got him to agree that it's a 50-50 thing. I think that the kids should get a stipend, because some parents can't send money.
For it. Mm-hmm.
Once you're on scholarship, you cannot work.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that come into play with that. So I think
I just don't want it to be where it's all about the money.
Right.
Going to each school. It's about the education.
Exactly.
But okay, come on, let's just be. Look at Thomas. So you didn't even let me get the question out before you start laughing. Listen, but when they go to, are they thinking about the education at all?
No. You're thinking about the next level.
Yep.
Right.
That's why I enjoy college sports so much, because those kids are playing with their heart, because they want to get to that level of where they can take care of mom or dad or sister, brother, or live the lifestyle that we talked about on previous shows, where I can have the boat and I can do these things, then it gets into that. So when they're playing in college, they're playing from the heart, but they're trying to get to the top. But then, once they get there,
Just mellow out.
It mellows out, and it's like
your name becomes so big, you don't have to do that work.
You don't have
in college or nothing like that.
Wow. So let me ask you something, Adrian. What about when you was talking about street balling, when you out there and you're doing all of this? What are some of the players that embraced you in what you were doing? The NBA players that embraced you doing street ball, even though it was a different type of game.
Kevin Durant, T.J. Ford,
Okay.
Shaw Lewis, a lot of guys that I actually just played against or like see me play. Those just to name a few. James Harden.
Okay.
Guys that actually like, hey, like, you got some game.
Right.
Dennis Rodman, he actually coached me in Ball Up when I was doing Ball Up on Fox Sports.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan, just to name a few, actually just love like how I play the game.
Yeah.
Man, you dribble different. Like I never seen nobody dribble like that. So it just gave me confidence.
So if anybody's seen Adrian Mack, okay, so we're gonna make sure that we put a clip on that because we want to be able to see. It was fascinating to me. I thought it was amazing, really seriously. So I'm gonna take this time because I'm gonna challenge Mr. Mack.
We're going to take a moment.
Wait a minute now.
We're going to look.
Wait a minute.
We're going to pray for her real quick. One time on camera. One time. Right here. One time. Everybody's going to jump on this silence right now.
Wait a minute.
You gonna die.
Can I show him your Nikes? One time. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Her Nike. She is threatening a baller with these.
Wait,
Here you go, Cinderella. Put it back on. Put it back on.
I'm not saying today. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm just
Those
saying.
the Jesus 9.
We might have some.
Wait a minute. You clowning, really? No, really serious, y'all. Okay, okay. So what? We look at it. We all family here, right? We all family.
Everybody cool.
Cause
cool.
so I'm saying me and you.
You don't.
It's gonna be tough.
Ha.
It's gonna
Me
be
and you.
You don't want to.
Yeah, I got $3 in my pocket. Anybody want to bet
Me and you.
I'm gonna tell him.
Can we go to the street? All I'm saying, can we go to the street? Can I show you my game? You look at everybody else's game. You talk about, the kids and mentoring. Maybe you need to come and mentor me, or maybe I need to school you. Which one?
Ooh. Let me pray.
Do these cameras roll? Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay, you guys, everybody that's out
just
there.
Roll these to the court. Everybody just roll.
I'm just saying.
All this high definition equipment to the court.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm pretty sure before the show is over, he's gonna let me know if we got a deal or not.
Cause
right?
you sound very, very serious about this basketball stuff. So I'm gonna have to take you.
You sleeping on my skills though.
I'm not sleeping.
Well,
on your
I'm just
skills.
saying, can you mentor me?
I'm just a different person in between the lines.
What lines?
On the court.
Ain't no lines.
It's lines.
Ain't no lines.
It's lines.
It's just me and you.
We can go.
Let's go. All right. Y'all heard that, right? So we are going to, you know what, as a matter of fact, my very first, T, I know you hear me in there. T, our very first show is going to be a live show, and we're going to take these cameras to the court, and you guys going to see me take Konfuzion to the goal. Are we good? Come on, Mario. You supposed to.
I'm with you.
All right, come on.
On the show. But on the court, I'm on the other side. So we gonna take a break right now.
Bring the profit
We'll
back.
be back.
She gonna need the profit.
We'll be right back, y'all.
And we're back to the Rio and Terri Show. Oops. The Terri and Rio Show. I just wanted to see how that felt. I just wanted to see, because you know what?
Everybody want to walk in your shoes. That's
and
right.
their ankles are done.
It's gonna be the Rio Show.
And Adrian. This my girl. I love her.
No, wait a minute. Okay, so here's the deal. Because, I'm a fair person. The very first show, me against Konfuzion, 10 points. First to 10 points, right? If he beats me, he get a chance to do the next show live
By myself.
by yourself.
And maybe a couple more other people.
Yeah, no,
No,
Real be here.
Well, wait a minute. You gonna keep now? You don't see that's your boy. You know?
We done figured it out. He gonna give you. He gonna give you. You ready? He done whispered, right? He whispered in the mic. I'm gonna give her 9.
I'm gonna give you 9 points.
Okay. All right. So you gonna give me 9?
Give you 9.
He gonna give me 9, y'all. Y'all ready for this? I'm ready. I'm ready. What? You don't have no comfort. You have to, hey, support your girl. No, don't do this. So you support your girl. You have to support your girl. You know what I'm saying? Support your girl.
I got you.
We in front of company. You got to support your girl. You better just say,
Hey, Thomas, what you doing next week? I need
I know.
Let's clean it
No,
up.
wait, hold on. All right, guys, just stay tuned for that because I'm very serious. This is going to be the very first show. You heard him. He said he's going to give me 9 points. He just, man, I mean, he's sleeping on my skills. He's sleeping on my skills. But okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So let me ask you something. I do want to know this. You were raised with a single mom, just by yourself. How was that though growing up though? Was that moment that you needed that father because how did you learn to dribble?
I had neighbors, and they were like fathers. They were all older, and they,
So you had a community.
yeah, they saw something in me I knew nothing about
Right.
in myself. So they took me in, woke me up in the morning,
Oh wow.
and I come home bloody, even though for me playing against them, that they were much bigger, and them knocking me on the ground. But they just took me in.
Right. Well, we happy that they did though.
Yeah,
and your mom, she worked a lot and she was okay with that.
Yeah,
she embraced
yeah,
that.
She felt comfortable with them, coming to get me and taking me down the street and playing ball with them every day. And it just made a man out of me. But the story that I didn't tell y'all is that my father, he lived directly next door growing up. Wow. So the anger that I had, me dribbling that basketball, was me having to walk by him because the man next door had an affair with the woman next door, which was my mom. He was married at the time.
So he couldn't claim you,
So he
pretty
couldn't
much.
claim me. And she knew nothing about me. His wife knew nothing about me. And I would have to walk down the street and actually see him and walk past him, knowing that that this is my father. Him and my mom dated, this and that, but she never knew that he was actually married because his wife actually traveled and she moved around just as much. So, he left. And when she found out that I was his son, she moved him away. And that was it.
The wife did.
Yeah, the wife.
And so, but in that time, not once did he say anything to you?
Now, he did, but it was just not the same.
Right.
Like the kind of conversation that you would want to have with your father, it just wasn't there.
It wasn't
It
there.
wasn't there.
So let me ask you, do you have kids of your own?
Yeah, I have a little girl.
You have a little
Yeah, I
girl.
have a little
Okay, good. So, and I know having her, you just promised.
Oh, that I
You
wouldn't
will
be like
always
that.
be there,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
Most definitely. She's number one.
Right.
She's number one. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we didn't ask you, are you married?
No.
In a union?
No.
Okay. He's single, ladies. So when I get through whooping him, y'all can come take care of him, okay? I just said I didn't want to invite nobody because they're gonna have to putting some stuff in. Ladies, bring some stuff. He gonna need it, okay? All right.
Bring help.
She gonna need it.
But okay, so Thomas, you said you coach.
Yes.
And in coaching, that's like your family,
Yes.
right? So tell us about the coaching.
I love it. It gives me a chance to build a relationship with the players, not just on the court, but off the court. So I have a chance to wives, girlfriends, whole 9 yards, kids. They come to
Baby
my
mamas.
house. Yes, they come to my house. Go swimming in the swimming pool, just everything.
He had to throw the swimming pool in there, y'all. Y'all heard that? He had to throw the swimming pool in there.
That's what we're gonna be doing.
Oh yeah, going to the swimming pool. Yeah, okay.
Hey, coach.
but I think that's awesome because
Yeah.
as I said, I coached and I took many guys to my house, kids. My armada would be full on the night before the game when I was coaching Little League because my son was like, all y'all coming to my house. And what was that? It was kids who lived in the projects. It was 4 of them. And when they came out to our house, they were like, man, y'all rich. No, we not. You know,
Right,
you
right.
can have this too.
But
So-
to them, you were rich.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I enjoy doing it, not for them to come out there and see, for them to see this and know that it was obtainable.
Right,
You know,
right.
and like he said, when you're a coach, you're a father figure, you're a mentor, you're a counselor, you're everything. I mean, these 2 guys right here, they could probably think back, and I guarantee you that he sat with him and told him some things, and he counseled him, and you know what they thought they were having? Just fella talk. That's my boy. We just talking. But just like he told you today, I'm bringing someone to the show with me.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Means a lot. That right there told you there's a bond there that is
Right.
inseparable.
Right.
You know, so, and that's a good thing.
Brother.
And we all need
Yeah,
that.
that's a good thing.
Brothers.
Because she going to need you, girl. Thomas, he going to need you, boo. I'm just letting you know he going to need you. But so we okay. Tell me the story of, I know it's many people you mentor, but what was the one that you remember the most that captured your heart of somebody young that you mentored?
This kid in Alaska, his name is Lucky, and this kid, he went through a lot. We were touring in Alaska. I was on his team, Team Hollywood. We went to Uzinki, Port Lions, and we hit Kodiak, and this one little kid just touched my heart. And he came up to me, he was like, man, I'm Lucky. I'm a big fan of yours, this and that. You know, I've had so many different brain surgeries, and I'm just trying to actually make it. And he was like, man, I only came to the game to see you.
Wow.
I was like, wow, like, this kid actually know who I am.
Right.
And so it was just something about his spirit that just took me. He was like, man, you inspire me, man. Every time I write you on, Facebook or Instagram, you always respond to me, like you talk to me, and that just meant a lot to me. So, we exchanged numbers. I told him that I'll always keep in touch with him, even when he graduates high school. And he's doing real good. His name is Lucky Analok, and he lives in Alaska.
Wow.
And it's crazy that I'm from here and can reach somebody way in Alaska.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, I love that kid. He's a good kid.
So you're happy that you put down that football and picked up the basketball, because that was the basketball is what where your I want to say where
true
your
love.
Yeah.
where your true love
Yeah,
was.
it was my first,
Passion.
yeah, and I always follow my heart.
Right.
Always, yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
Just look at that.
Right.
Like he said, you're here in Texas, but someone in Alaska. So that says to all of us.
Right.
I mean, black, white, and other men. You never know who's watching.
Who's watching?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know what? Always, and I'll say it over and over again, leave your community better than you found it.
Right.
You know what? And don't look back, as Adrian said, oh man, my dad this, my dad that. Use those as stepping stones to better yourself and to change and break the cycle of the negativity or what's, what we believe out there.
Right.
I think that I just want to reiterate this too, is that this life that he has is attainable. He had a dream, and he followed that dream, but most importantly, he had people there to help water that dream, and that was the important thing. I'm pretty sure being, single mom, I know that there had to be times that you just want to go over there and say, won't you be a daddy? I need a daddy. These people shouldn't, I know so much you want to do that, but I know that you said you forgive him, and I think that now he realizing he's proud of you, because I would be. Most definitely. I just want to say thank you guys for my panel, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
Adrian Mack, you guys look for it on social media, because we're going to have the dates and the time, and we want to make sure that you're going to be there. Because remember, he said he's going to give me 9 points, and then, the one, it's not going to. and my tennis shoes is not gonna break apart and all that stuff, but I'm just gonna go ahead and take him out. I think I'm gonna take him out really fast, cause he's so cocky, whatever. But okay, we got this.
Confidence. No.
Confidence. Okay,
Confidence.
that's me. Confidence.
Work on
Right. Confidence. Right.
Confidence.
You gonna be on my side, right?
Yeah. I got you.
Together. We talked about this before the show, though. Stay together, though. We got to. Okay. All right. So we just want to thank. I want to thank Thomas' wife. She's been videotaping the whole time. Can somebody tell her that's copyright?
Oh, man. You can call the attorney now. We done made it. Show's over. We gonna be looking.
Hey, what you want?
No,
What you want?
Thomas gonna be. We gonna be the CEOs and he gonna be our employees.
Hey, what you
Great business owner. Look here. Can I get the chain? I
Which one you want? The chain or the
I want
bracelet?
chain.
Give me the bracelet.
I like the wife.
Hey,
Not easy.
Hey.
We gonna keep her
Okay.
in the office because we need to know what's going on.
At all times. Yeah. Yeah.
We gonna make him a floor manager.
Hey, when you go outside, see what kind of car Adrian got. Because I might be riding. If it's a Billy, I might be riding that when I win. We want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for just really, for real, just joining us on the show. I am so proud of you, for real, most definitely. You guys, beautiful, handsome, black, single, successful.
Say it with
Man
me.
of God.
Say it one more time.
I ain't gonna do all that. But one more thing before we go. Give me this gum. I know your mama done taught you better. Spit that gum out on there. We'd like to see you the next time on the Terri Rio Show. We out of here, you guys.
Peace.
There we go.